A very, very warm good evening, good afternoon here from Germany. This is Arnav Chaudhary. It is August the 14th, 2025. It's another Indian football discussion on my channel. I look forward to having another interaction with you guys today and talking about the things that are happening or not happening in Indian football. Let's see where this discussion takes us today, and what we talk about. As always, lot of things to discuss, to talk about, and as always at the start, some of you might be watching this later. If you like the conversations, if you like what we talk about here on this channel, do like the video, share it with other people. And also, do not forget, if you're new, do subscribe to the channel. Keep us growing. We are now above 2,820, so slowly getting towards the 3,000 mark, and I need your support for that. And thanks a lot, as always, for that. Zarawa says the amount of PR Bajaj is getting on X is insane, with many right-wing channels parroting his propaganda. Zarawa, it's sad, but again, I think we should be focusing on what we can do for the betterment of Indian football. I think Indian football has its moments which are good, which are bad, and if we focus on, let the other people do whatever they do. If they are successful, great. We know that most of these things will sadly not bring us anything. It will rather harm us in the long run, because the substance has to be good in regard to development. If we don't do the right steps in development, we will be in this stage. Therefore, for me, I think it's more important that when you guys, when we talk about Indian football, that we try and influence Indian football in such a way that Indian football actually goes, in my opinion, in the right direction. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, we can't change that. Hi, methamphetamine. I am good, but just sweating myself out. It was 33, 34 degrees today. It's still showing 30 degrees now, so way too hot on this summer day here. Happy to see FC Goa qualifying, silver lining and dark cloud. Yeah, it's important. It was, I think, important for FC Goa themselves, because the reality was yesterday, if FC Goa had not qualified for the ACL2, that they would have most probably shut their first team and, might have not even played the AFC Challenge League. So that's also a reality of Indian football at this moment in time. And I say this, that it was important, but it also yesterday showed us a few things which we need to remember. The difference of standard, or the gulf of standard within the foreigners and the Indians, clearly visible. The Omani players were way better than some national team players, so therefore that's good. That's very, very good. Welcome, Goku. Welcome back. What do you make of AIFF ISL club's legal team meeting? Anything can happen with approaching court, or is just another time-wasting tactics by hushing the clubs? I don't think the AIFF doing this. The AIFF could have gone in the last 3 months, right? The AIFF has lost time. The AIFF hasn't done what we think, anybody sensible would think was needed to go to the Supreme Court and try and get something going so that the league, so therefore for me, and it's not. And Ogni says, saw Kerala tweet, clubs will approach Supreme Court on Monday with appeal, something on similar lines. Ogni, the clubs were ready. The clubs are willing to do that. The clubs have written that last Friday to the AIFF, which again, Kalyam Chaube seemed to have been surprised by that letter. I think the clubs were very, very clear on that matter, that they think that the Supreme Court needs to know what's the situation in and around the league. I think that's something which hasn't been discussed, and therefore, that it's clear that if the AIFF does not approach the Supreme Court, which they haven't done over this week, and tomorrow is Independence Day, so nothing will happen tomorrow, that the clubs will now go to the Supreme Court, because nobody knows, despite the sports bill being passed, it will be turned into an act now, if anything will happen on that front in the Supreme Court, right? If that is, and therefore, let's see what happens. 12:30, I think, ACL 2. Yes, 12:30 tomorrow is going to be 12:30 p.m. So it's just a little after midday. It will be the draw of the AFC Champions League 2. I'll be doing a live watch along for that. Also, just before recording this, yeah. So therefore, do join me tomorrow. Let's hope for some good opponents for Mohun Bagan and FC Goa. I think everyone is waiting if Al Nassr would be one of the opponents for the two. And then we'll see what happens. So therefore, tomorrow, about 12:20 Indian time, about 8:50 a.m. Tomorrow morning, I'll be doing a live watch along. So then yesterday, what was the difference? I'll see, like tactics failed, referee issue. Ogni, the referee did one mistake. I think the referee was actually very, very good, but he did one blunder because he trusted his assistant on the side. Was it a blunder which decided the fate of the match? Maybe yes, right? So therefore, yes, it was a big one. Was it tactics? I don't think so. I think the problem with Alsib was its final third penetration and its finishing. I like their gameplay. I have to be honest. Last time I saw Alsib was, I think, in the AFC Cup final. It's AFC Cup final 2022. I haven't seen them till then, and I liked what I saw yesterday. So, and so therefore, it looked good. Did Alsib play without foreigners? The game was pretty good. Roshan, yes, they played without a foreigner. They brought on a Senegalese striker in the second half, but he had no impact at all. It was a defensive masterclass from FC Goa yesterday, so that's a big positive for them, and so good to see that. Hey Rudro, I'm starting camp for promotion. Best of luck. I'm interested to see who will join Khalid Jamil tomorrow in the India camp. The under-23s are still facing the issues of players, so therefore let's see. So therefore, let's wait and see who joins. But I'm interested to see. AIFF has not released a list, right? I think they'll release a list tomorrow in regard to who's been called up, if I'm right. Let me see. No, they've not something, not so far. Yeah. And let's see what happens tomorrow. Also, so AIFF media posting FSA will take 60 days from Supreme Court verdict to start league. Will that be that long or shorter? You think FSA can do it 30, 40 days? Ogni, the question is not the verdict. The question is, do the AIFF and Reliance find a solution? So therefore, this 60-day window to me makes no sense at all, right? So 30, 40 days out of the question. I think they need 2 months, if not 3 months, because we go into the festive season, because there's a lot of blocking of flights, of hotels and other things which is needed across India. You can't do that in that short space of time. And this is not the I-League, this is the ISL. And the first question is, AIFF, FSDL, MRA sorted, or is it sorted after the elections? So therefore, the Supreme Court verdict is not the cutoff. If anybody thinks that the Supreme Court date and time is the cutoff for the AIFF to decide what is going to happen, then we are on I feel on the wrong track. I think the Supreme Court verdict is one thing which needs to come first. Once that is done, we will then go to the next verdict, and that next verdict is, will the new AIFF agree to a contract with FSDL? So therefore, these are all subplots. Let's see what happens. Will any Indian club get Al Nassr tomorrow? Just tell us, what are you feeling, yes or no? I think rather than Al Nassr, I think both clubs might get an Iranian opponent, and then we'll see what happens if Indian clubs have to travel to Iran. I think that's my bigger concern at the moment than Al Nassr. I know that everyone's going gaga about potentially, playing, So let's see. Happy for any club football after such disasters? Yes, Aditya, I think you need to take these small little successes whenever they come To me, that's very, very important. Important also, again, in the backdrop of FC Goa, that for them, it was very, very clear that if they failed, they could be shutting their first team as well. So therefore, that's a good thing that at least FC Goa till December will be running first team operations like Mohun Bagan Super Giant. If Indian club even gets Al Nassr, he will not come, but he's the co-investor, so maybe there's 1% chance he will come, but I think maybe we'll go to Saudi, so we'll definitely play. Aditya against one Indian club. Let's see. Again, Cristiano Ronaldo can decide for himself where he wants to travel or if he wants to travel. And I think Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, will be already very angry with his teammates that they're playing ACL 2 and not ACL Elite. Without foreigners, Alci would have thrashed FC Goa. Yeah, Rudro, so for me, that's I think the biggest, learning of yesterday, the difference of standard. If you think the goal from Drazic, Borja setting up both goals, Javi Severio scoring that goal, Moreno having a few issues at the start, but then settling down and marshalling the defense. David Timor as well coming in. Iker Guruchena didn't have a good game for his standards, I felt. But if you take all of them out and put that, if I looked at the bench and I thought, oh my God, if we played 11 Indians against 11 Omanis, and still, and this is what I credit Alci yesterday, the way they played. They actually took their game plan to FC Goa, right? Most of the game, they controlled the ball, they played around. Again, final penetration, luckily missing. But, FC Goa, an alert Borja, creating those two chances. Drazic, first of all, beating the goalkeeper. And the Drazic also chipping that ball perfectly into the goal. And Severio, again, I know a lot of people have already questioned FC Goa, why did they sign Severio? This is why Manolo knows him. Manolo had him in Hyderabad. And Manolo knows how to use the player. So therefore, very simple. That was the combination which worked, I think, and credit. It's bizarre how the entire cloud is over chances of Al Nassr playing against us instead of us qualifying. Methamphetamine, welcome to the world of social media hype, right? I mean, that's the whole point, I think, that we discussed. And let's see. Let's see if they're going to get Al Nassr. No? If I see, I'm rather worried if I look at the 4 teams that are in pot 1. No? If I see Sepahan from Iran, Al Nassr, Al Wasl from the UAE, and Al Ahly from Qatar, they are all really, really good. So the likelihood also, Sepahan, Estegal, it's very, very, if I look at 2 out of the 3, it could be that we will be playing an Iranian side. So then I see what happens. U17 Bangladesh team on tour to Japan, they win a match against University of Yokohama. Kind of I'm wrong there. For exposure to it. Goku, interesting, but I have no, I don't follow what the Bangladesh youth teams do, really, to be honest, very, very honest with you, who they beat, how they beat. It's always a question of who you're playing. Again, you look at a name and say, oh, you know what, they beat this and that team. We don't know what kind of a team, who was the team, how long was the match. Match call it to AIFF, permanent who, sir? Khalid, Rudro, at the moment, you need some stability in this whole thing, right? And Mahesh, I rate him quite highly, knowing him for the last 25 years. But let's see. With Khalid, those two used to be teammates at club and country. So that will be very, very interesting to see. But then how much money can our clubs make if they make it into the knockouts? Depends on the chart that the AFC, I've not seen any payment charts of the AFC. right? Normally, the Asian competitions, unlike the UEFA Champions League, in the group stages, is rather an expenditure than actually, generating money. So that has to be kept in mind. So, do you know what are the players called up for the national camp? No, Goku. I'm like you. I didn't bother to contact anyone. I just want to wait and see what kind of first probables list is called up. We need a cure for this clubs not releasing players issue. Either do youth tournaments more or pass a decree forcing the clubs to release players whenever we have a national camp. You can't do a decree, right? If you do such a decree of having to release players, you have a players union, you can go to FPI and FPI go to FIFPro, and then that goes to, there is only only the thing that you have to have a 5 to 7 day release before the international window, and of course for FIFA competitions or for continental competitions. There's no other release system mechanism anywhere in the system for under 23s, under 20s, under 70s, even for senior teams, right? India cannot ask for players to be released for the CAFA Nations Cup. So this is the relationship of the AIFF with the clubs. How good the relationship is to be able to get the players released or not. That's on the AIFF now, and that's the challenge. If you ask me, sorry. But you cannot do, and this has been an issue all the years. I remember in the early 2000s, they even did sometimes rules that said, okay, we'd only take 3 players per club, and all those kind of things happen in those days. Also, is Kalyan knowingly not doing multiple things as it might make him stay in the president chair for less longer? Aditya, as per the new sports governance bill, national sports governance bill, let's call it what it is, Kalyan Chaubey is, if I understand it right, no longer eligible to be the president of the AIFF. So that's the thing, Sir, any doubt? I said another doubt. Maybe Supreme Court takes time for constitutional verdict, but can they allow only the MRA talks to begin with? Then AIFF so talks can happen. How fast talks? Ogni, I don't even know. I'm not the Supreme Court. I don't know if the Supreme Court would allow that. First question. Second question, does the old AIFF have it within them to be able to negotiate a deal with FSDL? And that means, let's say, a deal for the next 10 years, which could then be questioned by the new AIFF that comes in. So there are multiple questions on this, right? What is the, so therefore, we will have to wait and see. There is no, I think that the trick that the AIFF missed with the Supreme Court was in April, May, when the things were going the way they were going, that the AIFF said, you know what, could we please, in the interest of the next season, be allowed to talk to FSDL and get a short-term contract extension of the MRA until 31st of May 2026, so the 25-26 season can be played, and by that time, hopefully, the AIFF would be able to take the Supreme Court would be able to take a decision, So therefore, let's wait and see what happens on that front. Win in ACL 2 gives more points than win in ACL 3. Yes, Ogni, it does. OFC shutting shop according to news. Zaravar, they have shut shop as far as I know, but I know that there people are saying, oh no, they're trying to keep their youth and grassroots alive, but I've not heard anything that is still alive. So therefore, that's the situation we are in at this moment. So we'll have to wait and see a little bit longer. And again, Rohan Sharma, OFC situation, Roshan, I think he said a few things which maybe he should have had, I think with the Odisha government, I think that there are no bridges to be mended or the bridges to be rebuilt, because I think that thing is done. If Rohan and his family keep the franchisee, I think that franchise, and if it happens, I think the franchisee will have to move somewhere else. I think that the support of the government has been cut to a bare minimum, and it's not going to work. Hey Blue, World Professional Footballers Association FIFPro wrote letter to FIFA regarding chaos and ASA as they are concerned about the players. Shan Mukherjee. yeah, blue. Again, FIFA, AFC are aware of the situation. Yeah, but it's an internal Indian matter, so they will not get involved in it. It's so funny that if we play against Oman national team, we are doomed to lose matches. Also looks like that Omani clubs didn't took things seriously being champion in 2022. Why didn't they take things seriously? Again, you're talking about the old AFC Cup, right? Where you didn't have teams from the best Asian nations playing, right? You in the past you sorry, just disappeared. Sorry, just to start again. In the past, you didn't have the best Asian sides in the competition, right? If you look at it, I would say that in 2022, you didn't have the teams from Iran, from Saudi, from the UAE, from Qatar, from Japan, from China, from South Korea taking part in the competition. So it's a different competition. Alsi did what they did, and I don't know. Again, they played well yesterday, but FC Goa, credit to them, they won the match, and that's what's counted. They scored the goals. Manolo without foreigners is worse than Indian coach. I don't think so. It's the same thing, right? The Guardian covered the ISL news. Looks like it's spreading outside India now. FIFA aware of everything. Bro, they've been aware of it for the last 8 years of what's happening in Indian football. So it's nothing new to them. Again, John Roder has written the article. John has written articles about Indian football. I don't know how many times over the last 15 years, 15 or more years that I know him. And yeah, it's something which is there, right? So once in a while we plop up as an Indian football story somewhere in the world, and this is the story that is plopped up at the moment. After, of course, a few weeks ago, the whole Xavi Hernandez situation. Bora Herrera, even as his hater, I feel he's the best ISL foreigner we had. He's the other name of Knut. I believe he's even better than Jason Cummings. Aditya, Bora Herrera has been really good. But is he the best ISL foreigner? No. Even Jason Cummings, these guys don't feature in that list. Sorry. I don't know how these names, and according to you, come onto the list. I think I would take Indian clubs qualifying with 11 foreigners and getting knocked out with 11 as long as our clubs become stronger, our ecosystem can breathe. But I mean, yeah, if that's the way to do it, yeah, most probably. But the question is, which I think in other parts of Asia, the question is also asked, how do you grow your club game? And on the other side, how do you grow your national team and your local players? And that goes hand in hand. And that's the question I think that we need to figure out. When Odisha FC faced Mohammed Subajan AFC with Cummings in it, we thrashed them 2-5. But when we faced East Bengal Super Final, also Clayton took that might be, but it was also area made things work. Okay, yeah. Is Oman club bigger than FC Goa? Yeah, morally, I think so that they are. How FIFA Pro works exactly? I thought all they do was deal with player licenses for FIFA games. Rishabh, they represent the players, right? I think to me, if you wanna think about the situation, their job is to look after the interest of the players around the world, right? And I don't know why you're saying player licenses. They're looking after players across professional players mainly across the board, across the world. Then you have FIFA as a global body, and let's say FPI is in India, and then you have whatever they are called, VDV, for example, it's called in Germany, and they look at the players' issues. Of course, Omani club is bigger. They got the oil money in AFC Cup 2022, says Aditya. People who justify India poor performance in bigger stage, lack of resources and money infra, but I find during development they doesn't provide proper resources compared to Europe. Yeah, yeah. Supreme Court can hear twice in 3 days about stray dogs and give two decisions in no time, but can't give the same importance to sports. It sums it up, right? Sums it up for you, Blue. And that's, tomorrow, CAFA team will be announced. Mank, I don't even know if it will be announced tomorrow or if they'll say, I'm calling up these players and then let's see who is available. I think that's one of the big questions that will be asked tomorrow. Who is actually available for the Indian national team? So we'll have to wait and see, and who the clubs will release or not release. So we'll have to wait and see that. East Bengal versus Mohun Bagan versus East Bengal derby tickets sold under 15 minutes. Good, good. In the Duran Cup Sunday, let's see. What would be a favorable draw for our clubs, having Turkmen or Tajik clubs, which would be a beatable opponent on paper or at least in home games? Rushabh, is there anyone beatable at the moment? I think our big problem will be for both the teams. They're not going to be in a league system, right? All the other teams are going to be in a league system. And you saw yesterday, Al-Seeb is getting ready for their season. So they were in a certain flow. FC Goa trained for the last few weeks, but FC Goa were not in a flow. Right? You saw that it was the individual brilliance which won the game for FC Goa. So therefore, that is my. I think if we talk about beatable teams, if we look at in pot 4, Ahal FC, Turkmenistan, could be Al Khaldia, Bahrain. Could beat Bahraini teams, will be better than Omani teams. Al Wadat from Jordan, Arkatak, again we saw against East Bengal last year. Istiklal, Al Muharak. So therefore, pot 2, pot 3, those pot 3, pot 4 are the teams to beat really. Even though Al Zafra, for example, Mumbai City was able, but that was in a bubble system. But the season again for me, that's the difficult one to say. I hate when the whole Indian football has only become East Bengal's mono super giant. I don't think Aditya has become that. I think that certain people think about it. So we can say Naveen Patnaik did more for Indian football than BJP. I think he did more for Indian football and also Indian hockey. I don't think Indian clubs can stand against Uzbekistan clubs. So it's better if we avoid them. I think there's Do you think Sunil will be selected for CAFA? Mike, I have no clue what Khalid is going to do. If Sunil is going to stay, if Sunil is going to, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. Sorry. Otherwise, in 65,000 tickets, only 15K is for sale. Other tickets are complimentary, and those with complimentary tickets are selling those in black. Now, that's Asia's oldest tournament organized by Army. Blue, it's the ticketing situation in Kolkata is a very, very complex thing. It's the Army is involved, the government is involved. To some extent, the two clubs are involved, so therefore, it's very complicated, and therefore when you break it down and bring it down to reality that only 15,000 tickets went into the general sales and that went out in 15 minutes. Again, there are concert tour tickets of Coldplay or Taylor Swift or something that I think millions of tickets go out in a few seconds. So that gives you a reality check of things. Sunil for CAFA, but just let him retire for once, says Aditya. Okay, when I look at New Zealand, their football transition is brilliant. Their multicultural body. Okay, Murali. No one remembers that New Zealand, Australia carried out in their own lands as they had behind the window of diversity and multiculturalism now. Aditya is. How would you rate yesterday's streaming and preview show? I liked it. It's good. I've always liked Arjun Pandit. I remember I saw his first time during the Z Sports days. I think it was 2008 when he became an anchor with Manti Langer, and to see his progression is really good. Annie is Annie, right? I will not agree with everything that he says, And Ashish, well informed, knows his stuff. So therefore, it was good. Commentary I can't say because I was doing a live streaming in parallel, so I was only listening towards the start and the end of what the guys were saying. But yeah, it's important that Kale now did this. I think it's important for Indian football that they did this, or for themselves also that they were able to do this, and therefore that's a very, very good sign. And let's see what they can do, will do in the future. And yeah, let's wish them all the best. Right, more than 30 minutes. Wow, that was quick today. Once more reminder, guys, if you are liking the conversation, leave a like behind. 6 likes only so far. Share it with other people. And if you may be new and you're liking it, what you're hearing, what you're seeing, do subscribe to the channel. Do also join our conversation, ask your questions here, and yeah, thank you as always for your support. Watch the short videos that I do. Did something, of course, on the FC Goa win earlier today, last night on Khalid Jamil becoming India coach, finally, contract confirmed and signed, on the AIFF stuff. A lot of stuff on AIFF and ISL in the last few weeks. And tonight we'll upload something as a preview on the draw of the ACL 2. One thing which I hate about Indian football and federation, they're not changing over the years. Governance. Governance is for me the main thing. Been a problem. To our honest, stray dogs are a serious problem in India with 50,000 deaths every year. Okay, so I wasn't aware of this figure. So I saw FIFA raising alarming concerns towards ISL. Yeah, okay. That's part of their job, right? They are the players' union, and the players in India might not have a season to play. And one has to remember that the secretary of FIF Pro at the moment is Alex Phillips, so Alex Phillips is one of the co-authors of the FIFA AFC roadmap at the time. What's your prediction for Derby? In my opinion, has been winning this Derby easily, given how good their squad is. Rawat, I have not watched any Durand Cup match per se. I don't even know what the status of the two teams is. I think, therefore, sorry. It's just, yeah. So, but as Mohanbahar Supergiant FC Goa now plan ACL to have 6 foreigners play in a certain way because Indian clubs, if Luton has good results, initially we're talking about 1-2 wins max. Ogni, I think, are we talking about wins? Let the groups be decided, and then we can talk about it. Again, we get carried away without knowing who we're facing, right? So therefore, for me, I don't know why you're talking about wins. Do you think that these opponents are winnable given the realities of Indian football at this moment in time? Just asking, right? If you think that we are in that position, great. But I don't think we're in that position. Again, both these teams will play 6 matches in the next 3-4 months. That's all that they will play. They will not play the league games, right? So I don't know where Kolkata is just rotten to its core. I cannot even trust Army to handle anything to Kolkata. Aditya, it's not the Kolkata problem. I've organized Durand Cup myself. Sorry, with all due respect, I think it is a general problem. So don't just put it on Kolkata. There are problems in other places as well in regard to this whole ticketing issue. It's an Indian sporting problem, especially where you have this tendency of handing out free tickets. And that is something which is a problem. I've seen it myself in Durand Cup in Delhi, which was worse, actually, to be very, very honest, than in Kolkata. I think Odisha C should have not been dependent so much on government for staying on Odisha clubs. And she start doing that, they might be hopping places or shutting down every 5 years. Otherwise there was no option, right? I mean, the reality is that the owners of these entities are losing that much of money that if a state comes around and says, listen, you know what, I'm going to give you a free stadium. I'm going to give you free training facilities. I'm going to be even sponsoring you, and I'll work with you to get sponsors. Every one of the ISL franchisees would have done it, right? So therefore, that's the reality. And therefore, we will have teams shutting down because otherwise it will not happen. Because everyone in this system is losing money. That is something which we seem to forget again and again and again. Indian football is a loss-making business, right? And if I can cut my losses down to a minimum, which Odisha FC were trying to do, and they succeeded, for a certain period of time. But then government changed. This will happen, right? And we again, Abik said it in the interview with KL now, right? The Kerala Blasters are not getting any support from the Kerala government, right? Even though Kerala is a huge football supporting state, So, yeah. KL now should launch their TV channel focusing on football. Zorawar, do you know how much of money it costs to run such a channel? How much of financial inputs? They are trying to stay alive, right? I mean, KL now has tried, some stuff, I think, in Kabaddi broadcast and other things. I don't know if the people backing football is a loss-making thing, right? So broadcast normally means you have to buy rights, right? KL now did this most probably for free. That's why it happened. Otherwise, this is not possible, right? So, yeah, it will not happen. Even in Shillong, Durham Cup, they say sold, but there are still thousands of empty seats. Want to buy a ticket, but always sold out. Yeah, but as I said, it is not a Kolkata-specific problem. It is a problem across India with tournaments and competitions and people, tickets, this, that, everything. So that's the thing. They can get license for Serie A and some other big leagues with no broadcast in India. So now money. Again, they are not a broadcasting partner. And to set up a TV setup or even an OTT platform, I mean, this yesterday was just for YouTube. But setting up even an OTT platform means substantial investment in crores. I think KL now should stop featuring football for their own sake. The amount of loss of potential KL now suffering is just it should cover cricket and kabaddi. Aditya, kabaddi, they're losing money as well. Kabaddi, nobody makes money. Who thinks, again, I've said this and nobody wants to believe it, and now the kabaddi clubs, franchises themselves are saying it, So therefore, that's the reality. Like, share, subscribe, everyone. Channel is growing. Thanks, Ogni. Yeah, I need your support, guys, on this front. Again, without you, it's not going to happen. Arunfoot is dependent on you. As I said, mouth-to-mouth propaganda is very, very important. You need to get it to other people who like football to maybe join again today. Also, whenever I get the time, I did something on Instagram on the on FC Goa winning yesterday. So therefore, do support, get more people involved. We need to have more people part of our conversations, of what is happening. So, sir, FIFA and AFC is aware of the situation. Anything can happen. Ogni, they've been aware. I've been talking to FIFA and AFC people. Again, we talk on a regular basis. So, therefore, for me, it's not something where they can intervene. Again, the problem is if the AIFF, and this is the problem with the AIFF at this moment in time, if the AIFF goes to FIFA or had gone to FIFA and said, listen, we are being stopped by the Supreme Court from running our league, which is a fact. They've been stopped from running their league, right? Or the top tier league of Indian football. Third-party interference. But then, what happens? The people in power in the AIFF are removed because then a ban steps in. Most probably this time they would put in a normalization committee. So whatever the AIFF at the moment is doing is for their own survival. They're not doing it for Indian football. Let's be very, very clear about it. And I find it very, very funny that I'm getting more and more comments on my, on my videos from people, some of them spamming me, saying, oh, they've done this, they've done that. Oh, you criticize the people. And I find it really funny that people come out and say, you know what, if you want to talk to me, try and, give me a reason that we can have this conversation. As I said, people can have a discussion with me. If you convince me, I'll change my opinion. But people are unable to convince me because I always say I come from a position of knowledge and understanding. And if I don't know something, again, today was asked about Bangladesh under 17 playing in Japan. I have no clue. I will say I don't know. It makes no sense and I know a lot of people sell you that. But to me, and this is how we've been brought up in Germany, honesty counts. And honesty means also that if I do something wrong, I say I've done something wrong. I have to introspect, I have to be accountable. And this is something which needs to be understood. I have a friend who got influenced by Bajaj's speeches that he's some kind of savior in football. He was like, he's doing something good for football. That is working really good. Rishabh, it is, yeah, great for him, for the PR, but for Indian football, there is no step forward, right? That is my concern at the end of the day. If he was doing something good which was helping Indian football, I'll support him, right? But this is just a PR business at the moment of a lot of people, So therefore, that's it. This East Bengal squad looks, they can actually do good in ISL. Akash, which ISL? That's the question now. Indians are just always so, what is that word for getting fooled by pragmatism without looking at pragmatism? Okay. Now and FC Goa did a good job with the broadcast with these difficult times in the football. Yeah, Augusto. It is commendable that now came forward, to do this. Otherwise, most probably it would have been just a simple FC Goa broadcast on the YouTube channel of the AFC. I think the AFC has been brought. They normally broadcast games, right? So therefore, I think they would have had some of these games on their platform. Let me just check once. Yeah, they've had some of them in there. Yeah. So therefore, for me, that's a good sign, and yeah, very good. And Akash says yesterday live viewership peaked to 40,000 with average 27,000 quite good. Yeah, I think as a first try, that is very, very good for now. So Duran Cup 6 matches, Super Cup maybe 5-6 matches, and then some friendly with ISL may help possible. So there is no Super Cup. Who says there will be a Super Cup? Ogni, that's the problem, no? You believe what they say. How? If you don't have an ISL, and again, BFC not training, Odisha FC not training, Chennai FC not training, Mumbai City not training, Hyderabad FC not training, Kerala Blasters not training, they will not activate something for the Super Cup. As long as there's no clarity on the ISL, these teams will not do anything. That's the reality. Would Odisha FC have survived when Naveen Patnaik was the CM? Rishabh, I think so. Because he had or has a soft corner for sports. Naveen Patnaik is one of the simple reasons of why hockey is competitive at a global level. Because he's built those stadiums, training facilities, high performance facilities in Odisha. Indian hockey success of the last decade has been because of this gentleman. And if he was around, I think Odisha FC, we would not be talking about the things that we're talking about because the current government has pulled the plug. And Mr. Patnaik is one of the reasons why Odisha FC came into existence. So that's the reality. Khilna has gotten over 20 million plus views for Kabaddi highlights alone. Simon, that's great. But is it really something that is of value? I think we get carried away by the numbers. I, for example, know when I look at my numbers, which are minimal compared to others. Again, I'm not even an influencer or creator or whatever I want to do. I'm just a person who talks with you all about football, right? And does a few videos here and there. But I know that the people who are important in Indian football are watching my videos. Because whenever I talk to people, I realize they knew what I was talking about maybe a week, 2 or 3 ago, right? So therefore, there is no measure of the quality of viewers. I think that's something which we don't have. So therefore, for me, that's a very, very important thing. And therefore, that is something which is sadly not factored into what we talk about, right? So therefore, that is something we'll see. Football is a lost cause at this point. I don't know, Simon. Again, if it was a lost cause, I wouldn't be talking to you now. You wouldn't be here. If we all thought it's a lost cause, there are 20 of you at least listening to this, what I'm talking about, you wouldn't be here, right? So therefore, for me, that's very, very important, right? Very, very important that you guys are here. Let's hope. Again, I use the word hope very often because that's the thing. There are still good people around. I really don't understand why owners of Odisha FC is complaining. No other club got this much support from any state government. I said they literally got everything for free. No, they didn't get everything for free, Akash, but they moved to Odisha because of that. Otherwise, they would have moved somewhere else. Maybe they would have paid stuff, but maybe they could have also generated more money, right? This is because of the government convincing Odisha FC to move to Odisha. They moved to Odisha 6 years ago, right? So that's what needs to be understood. But did Odisha FC not foresee something like this or think of a plan B all this time? And for the mean, did any of the ISL teams think of a plan B? Simple question. If you think, those of you and you others who've been following my channel now for a while, I have been raising this topic that the ISL might be stopped for the last 2 years, once in a while, and more frequently over the year 2025. If they had a plan B, we would not be where we are. This is Indian football's biggest problem. We lack very often a plan B. Simple. That's the reality, right? At this moment in time, we do not have a plan B. What happens if the ISL cannot be held? There's an MRA not extended. The AIFF doesn't know what to do. People tell me very often, oh, the I-League, this, that. And it's like, the I-League will not happen if the ISL doesn't happen because the AIFF doesn't have funds from January, you know? So therefore, for me, plan B, very good question. Nobody seems to have had a plan B. AIFF, FSDL, clubs. And I've been asking this question for the last 2 years. So let's ask every one of them who is in charge. Ask the owners. Ask the key people. Why have you not used your brains? Always plan for the worst case scenario. You should have some sort of a thinking of what could be the worst case. Yeah? That's the problem. I was disappointed with yesterday's broadcast. It wasn't good enough at all. It reminded me of the old I-League days. You don't jump directly to such big games. Start with small tournaments first. Rushabh, I understand from where you're coming from, but also you have to remember that for Khel now, yes, you're very, very right. You step up. But if they used to do a small tournament somewhere in India, it's an expense for them. There was this opportunity, I guess it was discussed, and then, they jumped on the opportunity and said, let's do this. It will, if you think, and I think Ashish put out a tweet saying, that we will learn from this and be better, so therefore, I think it needs time. And hopefully, they will do other things. But yeah, it is also production in Goa is not easy, right? So that's another thing. Hype his video, guys. Yes, Zoravar, very good point, guys. Once again, I need your support. My short videos not getting a lot of traction at the moment. I don't know why. I need your help. You guys need to view it. You guys need to try and share it in the groups. I'm trying my best. I need your support. The more people who come to this platform, the more people who follow me here, who follow me on Insta, who follow me on Twitter, the more power, so to say, I get to be able to influence things in a positive way. I try and do that. But if I've got the social media backing in the background to try and help me push me to another level, then more people will listen. So therefore, I need your support as always. And thanks, Zoravar, all of you guys who've been supporting me all this while. Kabaddi, hockey, rugby, badminton, wrestling, every single sports are loss making and also have far less viewership than football in India. Yeah, Akash, yes. There is no sport outside of cricket which is actually factually making money. That's a sad reality. So therefore, also this whole kabaddi, this that hasn't worked. So football in India is losing money, but can it be done well? Like any model, any framework, be profit for clubs or national team or federation, anything like that? Ogni, at the moment, no. I mean, Ogni, think you yourself are a crorepati. You've got crores. of a little liking to football, not much. Don't think of yourself as the football fan or the football nerd that some of us most probably are here. You've got money to spend. Let's say you've got 10 crores to spend over a 3 to 5 year period. But you're saying, I'll invest the money, but I don't need the money back. Right? It is an investment for you. People talk to you in football, in kabaddi, in tennis, maybe pickleball, whatever there is. There are a lot of sports these days, right? And this is what happened with a lot of investors a decade back who invested into clubs in the I-League and all, and that's why they pulled out after 1 or 2 years. Dotsal Group, Kalani Bharat, very good examples. And then you've got the opportunity to do something in cricket. And say, okay, I put the money in, I get the money back. That's the reality of things. So that's another thing, right? So for me, profitability will only come into Indian football when television channels are willing to pay for the money for football, for the broadcast, for the telecast. And think about even the broadcast of European leagues, where the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A were making money. Serie A is on nowhere. La Liga now went to fan code. So these are the realities. They aren't part of is the actual intellectia are outside and the politicians inside. Well, it should have been the complete opposite. This is how our country works. Yeah, Simon, there are, as I say, there are very good people in Indian football. Not everybody is, I don't know what's happening, right? So therefore, for me, that is our biggest problem. This is the challenge we have in Indian football. If you want to grow, yeah, it is as it is. Huh? Says AIFF losing money. If Tribunal allows MRA discussion, AIFF have to accept the offer. AIFF has no money post December. The question is, there are 2-3 points. Yes, let's say the Supreme Court allows the conversation, right? You have a new AIFF coming in. The new AIFF could question, hey, listen, why did you allow them to sign the MRA? Right? And nobody is asked. I mean, this is the funny one. I've actually checked. The clubs, nor the AIFF, have checked with Reliance if they're willing to extend the MRA until the end of the season, until May 31st, 2026. So the basic question before even going to the Supreme Court or discussing this, why was this point not discussed in the meeting last week? There are a lot of points that should have been discussed last week, face to face, that these people did not do. That is the problem. Seriously, we fans need a reality check. Are we this delusional to think ISL is just a matter of time? No one joins in this critical conversations in numbers. Please share on this channel with others. Thanks, Simon. Thanks. The problem is that the people, again, I think I just realized I think I should do a video for tomorrow and ask a question. Will Mohun Bagan and Goa face Al Nassr? I think that's the question that people, again, for me, it's just a general thing, right? That the Champions League, who could we face, how we could face. And for example, could Mohun Bagan be forced to travel to Iran again? From a very, very interesting question this year. So therefore, Simon, thanks. I mean, I try to. Yeah, I think I need to be more, what do you call it, sensational, right? I think sensational is the word, right? But again, I need your support, guys. Not only you who are here. Again, some of you are in some of these Indian football WhatsApp groups. Share the videos, please do, and let's see. I will talk what I think is right, and I will not say what people want to hear. I know that there are a lot of fan groups are not happy with what I say or people don't like. I know certain people have reached out and said, "Oh no, me, this, that." Listen, guys, it will not help as long as we're not honest to ourselves. That Indian football has problems across multiple levels. Sorting out the AIFF is not going to be. For example, you put in now a new AIFF. Let's say you put in a new AIFF in the last 2 weeks, right? Would they be able to tell the clubs, oh, you know what, release the players for the under-23s or do release the players for the CAFA Nations Cup? No, the same problems exist, right? Because why? What has this whole ISL clubs discussion with the AIFF shown? That the 13 clubs are not talking with one voice. Big problem. Same thing has happened when we saw last year, the I-League clubs talking. It wasn't. Because an Inter Kashi, a Churchill Brothers, a Delhi FC, Sri Deccan, Gokulam Kerala, all of them have their own interests. So we've seen this in the I League, in the NFL in the past as well. So that is another problem, right? That even interest groups who should have the same interest, they do not talk in the same language and do not talk in one voice. Huge, 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 huge problem, right? And an opportunity lost last week. They should have utilized this opportunity to sit down with Kalyan Chaube as, you know what, we need to sort out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In India, politicians don't do anything. It's the IS, Indian civil service, who control things, but just for speeches and corruption. Okay, Aditya. Last season, FanCode broadcast the playoffs, right? Any other why they didn't come forward this season? It doesn't make sense for them. It's a cost to FanCode. FanCode has to think. Remember, I was sitting earlier this year in the offices of FanCode and we were talking about how the things are, you know. And they said, you know what, we started as a non-cricket platform. We wanted to be an OTT platform of sports. And it's a great idea. Yannick had a great idea. But in the end, to become profitable because you have investors in the background, they had to start cricket. And that is what is the backbone of them making money. Become politician is more like a blessing than a wish to work for the public. Okay. So in your opinion, BJP doesn't care about sports aside cricket? Zorawar, it's not my opinion, it's my observation. Again, we have someone who is president of the All India Football Federation in Kalyan Chaube, who is a BJP member. Right? And he is unable to get funds, right? So this is a reality of things, right? That is my concern, right? That someone like a Kalyan Chaube is unable to generate what is needed for us for Indian football to grow, right? You know, so yeah, where do we go? Now can try to broadcast I League or something with IW. I'm sure they will do better than SSCN. No, they can't, Akash. See, that's your problem. If you like SSCN or not, SSCN has invested quite a substantial amount of money into their whole broadcast system that they have created, right? And for now to do it, then they will have to raise crores to be able to do it. I think you don't realize how big this whole plan is to create that thing, to do a broadcast. It's not something that, hey, you know what, tomorrow I want to do a broadcast and, or, you know, get some cameras along. I need some people to do camera and then production, something or the other, ho jayega. It is not like that. It is not so easy. So give now the credit for what they did yesterday, and also give SSCN credit that last year they came forward to broadcast Indian football and other things as well, right? Agree, sir. Actually, I was intending to compare their views in rest of the sports as in comparison to football-related content, sharp contrast. Yeah, so that's the reality. Football is definitely not a lost cause. Otherwise, 40,000 live viewership would have never seen yesterday with very little promotion of the YouTube channel. Akash, I think Indian football has a level of fans, right? So if we are talking about Indian football fans, right? And we're talking about a country of 1.4 billion, then 40,000 is not a large number. This will not, if you want someone to get excited, right? You would say, you know what, 10 lakhs? We can talk about 10 lakhs, right? And that's the reality, right? So if you think 40 again, for me, the broadcast person in me is just thinking about numbers. In a country like India, if I can get 1 million to watch a stream, you know, so therefore, yeah, those are realities in my head. Live viewership is overrated in India. India literally has the highest live concurrent viewership on YouTube. Of course, because we're talking about a 1.4 billion country, right? So that is something which we should need to keep in mind, right? So therefore, for me, If we're talking about the numbers, again, in it, I would, again, that's why I said also in the past, elsewhere, the number of one person watching is more than 1,000 or 10,000 watching elsewhere. My mind oscillates, by the way, hoping and giving up on Indian football, and then I see the image of the AIFF and Mr. Colin Chowdhury. Simon, never give up. I can tell you that I at least will say, never give up. Try and support. And again, it is. Yeah, those are the realities of things. No, that's why I would love to say that we are this, we are that, we're in this area, we're in that area, but we're not, right? So we're struggling. So yeah. Plan. It's all about short-term profits and minimizing losses. There are no profits, Simon. It is about minimizing losses. Right? This is why have everyone, starting with the FSDL, the clubs, I-League clubs, right? Have tried to reduce numbers because you're paying more and more for your players, but everything else, you're reducing your budgets, your costs, and you're saying, I'm cutting down on this, on that, and everything to keep the system running. Without FSCL, AIFF crashes out bankrupt, no league, no youth, no national team, all stop. Only they would have to live without 50 crores. They would have to reduce their budgets by 50 crores. So let's call it out what it is, right? So the AIFF would have to find solutions, to try and work around it. So the leagues are going to affect it, youths are going to affect it. National team things will be cut down to the bare minimum. Chandrayaan 3 landing at 9.8 million live viewership is still the highest live viewership in YouTube history. Okay. I thought the Austrian guy who did the stratosphere jump, the Red Bull, the guy who died recently, I thought that was the highest. I guess that was with broadcast, right? I don't know. I think that was the globally most watched thing. But anyway, that's, yeah. How much KL paid for broadcasting? I don't know, Raj. I guess in an ideal case scenario, they got it for free. Who even takes live viewership numbers in India seriously? If so many people care about info, wouldn't have been where we are right now. That's also a point. A suggestion: try collab with Ashish, and Ashish's stream might help in gaining few dozen subs at least. At least they will know you through KL. Simon, I'm going to invite Ashish soon. Actually, I wanted to invite him this month. I haven't been able to do it, but I'll talk to him soon and then try and see what can be done. Live viewership on YouTube don't translate to revenue increase. That's also a point, right? Again, I see it sometimes that having a lot of viewers doesn't mean that you're going to get anything in regard to subscribers or other things around. So therefore, it doesn't translate. Dada, I'd like to suggest you should place yourself in the thumbnail like how other creators do and maybe recreate your intro. I've heard this thumbnail thing. Yeah, I know. And yeah, I maybe have to recreate the intro as well. Yeah, someone did it for me. So yeah, I hope to. Very good. Yeah, I'll have to put my face on it most probably more often. I agree. Corporate teams at football division, but you think over expectations, bad planning result to this. I mean, corporate mind, but not football mind. Only there are different reasons. Corporates, there was someone interested in football. Some others are not interested in football. Yeah. Let's see. One thing I know for sure, I don't think we should not dream regarding World Cup with Indian players 50 years तक भी नहीं होगा अगर OCI PIO हो जाता तो ही chance है, but it is difficult. I losing hope. Saksham, yeah, very important point that you're raising, because without origin players, again, we saw it yesterday against Oman, the standard of our top Indian players against the Omanis, it's a problem. Right, so we'll have to work on that. So therefore, yeah, very, 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 very important point that you've raised. Right, 1 hour and 5 minutes. Once more, the reminder: like, share, and subscribe. 17 likes so far. I think we can do better. Actually, I had 41 likes yesterday for the live watch along. Thanks, over 1,200 accumulated. And of course, if you're new, do subscribe to the channel as well. And thank you as always. Live viewership is not irrational, guys. If 26,000 people are constantly watching the game, how can you say they're not serious fans? Most of the fans are casual fans. Akash, no one is saying that there's any casual fans, but the numbers are too low to really interest a broadcaster or even a streaming platform to do something bigger. You know? Yeah. During FC Goa match, the fans fighting Mohun Bagan versus East Bengal versus Mumbai City FC. Why these people don't understand without us? Will they be able to play matches? Raj, the problem is that the fans don't realize that they should come together and support FC Goa in that game, and that this is one of the many reasons, uh, you know, why Indian football is failing, right? How the rate Giovanni Leone, according to rumors, Liverpool FC is extremely keen on signing their team. Supposedly, Parma boy, very talented. Let's see, Liverpool, wow, they're not stopping signing players. So Supreme Court judgment coming soon? No clue, Akash. Some people say yes, some people will say no, and then we'll have to wait and see. That's football, says Akash to Raj. Fans will always fight. Most fans don't know what's happening between FSDL and AIFF. Most people don't know what is FSDL. And they don't realize that when an Indian team is playing, you should be supporting the Indian team. Even Supreme Court says we have bigger issues than football. Most probably they will say that, yeah. But they don't realize how they're harming. Many people commented on Kirna that thanks for saving 25 rupees. That's also the hard reality of Indian sports culture in total. Akash, very, very, very sad to say, but that's another reality. So, they don't want to spend a rupee. And that is another problem, right? This is, so therefore, to me, the Indian football fan needs to also spend on Indian football, on his club. Just saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to talk about it. Yeah. Who took the production cost for yesterday's game? Rishabh, I don't know, but if you would ask me, I think Kilna would have paid for it. SEFN has announced streaming rights for German DFB Pokal. Yes, Roshan has seen that as well. The DFB Pokal and other German rights like the Handball Bundesliga will be on SSCN this season. Broadcasted over DD Sports. Nixon, I don't think DD Sports would be interested. With BJP in power, ideally MRA should have sorted way back. Their connections, right? But we have a guy who's in for his own interests. It's funny how a non-BJP guy was closer to Reliance. The BJP Reliance thing, again, guys, you make it sound so easy. It doesn't work that way. Even if the right BJP guy was there, do you think that it would have surely been going in the right way? You don't know, right? Hey, Pujan, good to see you. Yes, it's been a while since I tuned in. How do you on his Khalid's appointment? How many years is he contracted for? Will he be able to impart the much-needed discipline? Pujan, I don't think Khalid is the right person. Knowing Khalid for 25 years, I don't think knowing the team, knowing the problems within the team, knowing the whole groupism issues, he's contracted for 2 years with an option of a third. So the AIFF gave in to that. But I wish him the best. I hope I'm wrong. As with a lot of things over the last 2 years, I hope I'm wrong. But that's my feeling. That's my understanding. So let's wait and see. Let him call up a camp tomorrow. Who's calling up? Who's being released? And then we'll see. Sir, but Star Sports era 2017-19 national team had peaked. New young generation was watching match. Social media things were not best, but something. Ogni, social media depicts something, and is it real? That's the question. For example, there was a platform called Superpower Football. I did a lot of things with them, for them. I remember I did with Ankush the walk on Carter Road, right? We did a long interview. I did something for them around the Under-17 World Cup draw and other things as well. Lovely platform, great platform. Ankush did great work, and Superpower Football as well. Platforms like that have disappeared. In the past, we had goal.com covering Indian football extensively in text, yes. And all of that is gone. So therefore, social media, I'm always skeptical on this whole social media thing, because it might look to you to be something, but is it really substantial? Is it really doing what is needed? And that's the question. It's not about parties, it's about personal interests. Yeah. Very right, Raj. Can you tell us, how much are the production costs for broadcasts across all levels? Rishabh, I would not know those cost numbers. I've not dealt in broadcasting production costs, so sorry, I can't tell you. Hey, Yuvraj, I am doing fine. Good to see you back. Okay, so I got some news. So it's that Churchill brothers have refused to return the I-League trophy, and AIFF is now making a new trophy. What the hell is Valanka still there in AIFF? Also, what is this behavior? Aditya, is this news? Wasn't this known to us now for a while? That they're not going to give the trophy back? I don't know. Did we think, this is the worst phase for even Orenso has been around forever in Indian football. Absolute disaster. Yeah, Simon, it is. And it was, but we walked into this, no? I mean, I said we would walk into this, but a lot of people didn't want to believe that these are the problems we are facing, and therefore we are where we are at this moment, right? And therefore that's the problem, right? Never give up in life when you know you're fighting for what's rightfully yours. If you do, so you will be called a fighter. But if you don't give up on things not yours, then you will be called Churchill brothers. Yeah, Yuvraj. I mean, they're trying everything that they can. They still don't want to believe it. So yeah. Hey Abhijit, how many foreigners Omani club had, or the club that defeated East Bengal had, and despite the results, who were the better team in your words? Let's live in La La Land. Abhijit, the Omanis had no foreigners. Put on a Senegalese striker in the second half. East Bengal played against, no foreigners as well, and I see to me was the better team yesterday. Sorry, and so therefore, yeah, and that's why I said let's be happy. Don't bother about how we played. We won it, and in the end, the result bothers. We're headed for a full stop in the coming months if things stay this way. Yeah, Simon. Yeah. Do you see India qualifying for U70 World Cup on merit based in next 2 decades? So our next 2 decades is tough because we don't even know what's going to happen in the next 5-6 months. Next 2 decades, I would hope, but again, so therefore for me, I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next 2 decades. Alexander Isak is on strike. So now your views. Yeah. Problem with players. No? We've got this problem. When players want to leave and say that I want to join a certain club, we've got Isak, we've got in Germany, we've got the whole Voldemade situation with Stuttgart. Voldemade even saying, listen, I'll take less money, let me leave my contract at Stuttgart to join Bayern Munich. It's difficult. No? Ousmane Dembele in the past or Aubameyang striking their way out of Dortmund. Not the first time. I mean, it's not happening in Dortmund, but an ex-Dortmund player doing it once more. It's a problem. Right, he's been incentivized by Liverpool to do this, and yeah, it's a problem. Forget Pan India viewership. Did half of the football-loving Goanis know about FC Goa's game against RCB? I doubt it was a full house crowd yesterday. No, it wasn't full. First of all, it was raining heavily in Goa, so I remember. I think Sandesh Jingan said it afterwards. Whoever came out in this weather, we were thankful for that. So that's okay. I give them that. But Salman, you're saying half of the football-loving people, I don't even know half. Did even one-fourth know it? Aren't you happy that Indian government fixed the only thing that ailing Indian sports, lack of bureaucracy, but do you think it's any development towards OCIs? No, Abhijit. The OCI topic was discussed by fans. Has it been discussed even in regard to the sports bill, sports governance bill? I didn't see anything. It said in its draft version, interact with diaspora. That can be players, that can be coaches, that can be people like me, right? So no, nothing has changed. Our courts around the world so slow. Indian Supreme Court is just very different. Bro, I feel that courts in other parts of the world are slow, but not this slow. And sports matters would have not gone to the Supreme Court. It would have gone to someone with sporting background. Can't blame people for not spending money. Indian fans already pay a lot for different OTT subscriptions. Whenever, then you're doing something wrong. If you're not willing to spend on sports, and then you say, oh, OTT, I have to spend to watch the Bundesliga, to watch the Champions League over here as well. I'm not getting it for free, right? So if you're not willing to spend, then you also don't know. Why do people think BJP has nothing to do but sort AIFF mass people? And Kalyan and AIFF is just what every political party does. No, they don't. See, that's the problem you have. If you want to tell me that, no, they don't. Because he was planted literally by the governing party in there. We've had politicians in there. Prabhu Patel did his things. Priyaranjan Dasmunchi did his things. But they still try to do stuff for Indian football. And whenever there was a crisis, they stepped up. Both of them. Kalyan is not, sorry, Kalyan, with all due respect, you're not of the level of those guys. And you not even won a political election ever in your life. Right? There are other people in the BJP who could have taken up that post. Right? And they would have had some influence. But this is a different level. So the recent complaint by FIFPro to FIFA, can we expect a ban? Will the ban have any boon, or will ban will come with an E at the end? See, Yuvraj, I know who the FIFPro person is. The General Secretary is Alex Phillips. Alex is or was the co-author of the FIFA AFC roadmap. Alex and I also spoke a couple of weeks back about this. So he was aware of what was happening. I don't think that the FIFPro part is going to be the one which is going to push FIFA to a ban. Let me be very clear. FIFA could have stepped in. FIFA's known what's happening in India. But either the AIFF or Indian football needs to come in and tell FIFA, so it has to go via the AIFF. All the clubs go to FIFA. I've said that as well. And they're not going in there now. So that's another problem. I see Khalid's tenure as a repeat of Manolos will get sacked by this year end or by next year. Yeah, Zorawa, let's wait and see. Again, right, reporting stray dogs is a bigger issue than unemployment in the sector altogether. Football in this case, strange in my opinion. Simon, it shows you where the priorities are in the country, right? Stray dogs can be a problem. But if you see people fighting for the stray dogs, people don't fight for Indian football that way. Right? So, let's see. The pitch was not looking, at least of ISL matches quality, even the sidelines were not clearly marked. Raj, it is monsoon, it is bad weather. I thought the pitch would give up more than it did during the game. So, keep those things in mind when we talk about these things. Well, I think BJP are putting Kalyan already showed how much they care. Yeah, that's the point. Super Football was a fantastic initiative, but it also closed doors since COVID. Yeah, because the guys behind it, Ankush moved on to another job. The guys in Bangalore, I think they still produce something super for their back end, what they do. So that's the thing. So therefore, sad that such a platform no longer exists in Indian football. Dogs don't have mouths to protest, do they? Yeah, Aditya, but Indian football could do some support. I'm disappointed if I see the priorities in India. If I see the success of the women's team of the under-20s, even FC Goa, and how it's covered or not really covered. Yeah, sadly these are realities, right? That we are in the moment. Only Disha cared about sports, remaining states as usual, not interested irrespective of any party. Yeah, it can be said. I would take out, let's say, a state like Mizoram, where I saw, where I saw that Tite was able to activate the government. I was able to see the old Langtang Hangwa, the old chief minister, how much he was interested. And I met him personally. He's invited me as well. So I've seen governments. Government here or there, not full time like Odisha, but there are governments who supported it, right? Can AIFF stop a promotion by any means, sir? Wildest of things they could do, sir? I don't know, because there is a clear-cut caste judgment The question to me is, Yuvraj, if there is a league to play in regard to promotion, and what happens if there is no ISL? Because then the top tier is going to be under the AIFF, and that's going to be a weird conversation between Interkashi and the AIFF. Cheshire isn't returning trophy, which is against CAS verdict. What's stopping you from banning this club? Rather, this matter has to be taken up by the AIFF then to FIFA. No? The problem is the AIFF is at the moment a bottleneck because they're not taking up matters with FIFA because it hurts their interest. Just think about it, how weak and corrupt are you to not giving the winner trophy? Yeah, Blue. My opinion, but the Supreme Court is making the entire judicial system a joke. Again, my opinion. Okay, Simon. Super Football pulled me into following Indian football. I wish they continued, but it's okay. They are sane. One has to be insane to continue following Indian football. Yeah. Deepak, welcome to the club. Do you think women's national team in U20 qualifiers were a success, or were we just lucky this time around? Rushabh, it's a success. No doubt about it. But you need luck, right? And I go back to the women's team, 96-minute penalty for Thailand not given yesterday. Also FC Goa, not a penalty given for Al-Seeb. So you need that bit of luck. You know, if it was against Goa, you would have said, oh, cheating, this and that and everything. But now nobody will talk about it because, hey, it was for the Indian team, right? So therefore, we have to be honest about that. The under-20s, this is the outcome of the work that initially a certain Thomas Dennerby put in to prepare a team for the under-17 World Cup. So this is long-term work, right? So give him credit for that. So therefore, yeah, it's a success. And yes, we did have luck. Again, yesterday, Al-Seeb to me was, so these are realities. Do you think the season may push some club owners over the edge? We may see mass shutdown and impact, however small it may be on players' intention to go outside India. Obviously, if the ISL doesn't happen, yes, we will see mass shutdown. And the salaries will decrease. Will the players go? Have you seen anyone go abroad and try his luck? I don't know anyone, right? Sir, being fan, the whole ISL fiasco has already tested our patience. Only God knows what's going through the people directly and financially attached to ISL. Yeah. Is there any change in short litigation of the new bill? No. The bill has not been passed into an act, right? So step 1, 2, 3 can, but not the third. So we'll have to wait. Honestly, I never bothered about spending on fan code. They served us well. I wish they had yesterday's game, but yeah, costs are just too high for them now. Yeah. Rushabh. World Players Forum FIFA sent letters to FIFA Ghana and said this was scary. Yeah, Angry Birds. Yeah, I know. FIFA sent a letter. This may be controversial, but do you think Supreme Court and the entire press has made a complete mockery of the judicial system journalism in this country? Poor Simon, I do not know enough to be able to make that observation. I can only talk about what has happened. Can't. Comparing in football team clubs to Bundesliga. Come on, says Nixon. Okay. So why was Kalyan planted? BJP's talent hunt was terrible. I don't know. Ask the BJP. Even BJP don't allow them to contest elections from Manipur, says Raj. Is it true and what effect can it have on us? Nothing. Angry Birds. It's just another letter which has gone out. FIFA and AFC know what's happening. One more press release by AIFF. Yeah. If he fought from Bhawanipur, that would be a record. Oops. Mama Sunu, it's BJP is going to rule the world, says Simon. Modi share of water partnerships, says Simon. Bundesliga is nowhere near need for rules victim. I go to the AIFF, says Raj. Now, if Mohammed is considered as BJP club, Ahmedabad a TMC club. Okay, Raj. Seven is Portugal one for Simon. If BJP was a team, would be playing as Portugal. Oh, God. I don't think we should compare what went with the dogs issue with the Indian football. These are totally two different things. On one, we had a cruel act being committed on such a massive scale. Rushabh, I do. I do, because the livelihood of 5,000 plus people is not being taken seriously. So therefore, for me, you know, and therefore for me, the priorities in the country are wrong, right? I feel that with Indian football, things should needed to be done in a different way, and it sadly hasn't been. No? Therefore, we are in the situation we are in. Mr. Bajaj in the news again, claiming new and big achievements. Any substance? No, as usual, nonsense. Abhijit, I think you answered the question yourself. Dark Knight, good evening. 5K Empower Club's not important, but dogs' decisions. Yeah, that's the thing, no? Super Football was such a quality channel with Ankush. I miss them so much. Yeah, Rishabh, it was great. And I enjoyed being part of whenever he asked me to do something with them, for them. Yeah, and that's it. It misses, as I said, from a text point of view, goal.com. I miss them. I miss us at indianfootball.com myself, But yeah, these are the realities. These are the realities, and these guys had to take a commercial decision. And this actually, if you see goal.com, if you see Super Football, you have to even give more credit than to Khel now still existing and trying to do things in the Indian football space and ecosystem. I think I would love to build a house in North Sentinel Island because seeing all the social media stuff is gradually driving me insane. Oliver San, come to UP, will save you. And there's no reason why it's North Sentinels live in isolation. Yeah, but maybe, Sam, you've got some offers, I see. Okay. So, Sam and Bengali conversation. I mean, if the bill gets passed, which looks like it will, can we see any changes in sports educations, like how Mr. Bajaj and others love to go and cry to support every chance they get? Yes, because Abhijit, supposedly a sports tribunal will be created, but the bill has been passed. So, step 1, Lok Sabha. Step 2, Rajya Sabha has been passed. Now it has to be signed by the president and made into an act. I don't even know if it will, let's say, happen tomorrow. Because that's the thing. And then, yeah, it goes to the spot. My concern with the sports tribunal is that the sports tribunal might be sort of a Supreme Court light, because you will put justices into this whole thing who are, a level of understanding of what's happening in the courts in India. So therefore, the sports tribunal can only work if the right people, are based in them or set in them. So why is Mr. Budget always full sleeve? Good question. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I miss Super Football half volley weekly episode. Yeah, I remember those. As I said, great platform. Even wish someone like Ankush around. Those kind of people. Why everybody hate Kalyan Chaudhary? Yogesh, is it hate? I don't know if it's hate. It's because he's not doing what is needed for Indian football. So let's see. So much has happened in the meantime. Goa won India under 20 team for women to kill now TV. Yeah, Surya, at least some good news, right? Just to say Indian football clubs, can you bring some positives? Nixon, I think important is that Goa has qualified. Mohun Bagan is also there. And let's see who they face tomorrow. I'm going to do a live. So those of you who want to join in tomorrow, 12:20 approximately, do join in, and then we'll talk about what will happen. Does government even know 5,000 people have jobs at risk? I don't think so. And again, 5,000 directly, and then I don't even know how many people indirectly, vendors and all that stuff. People, match the people. We appreciate your attempts to make a Bengali version of one of your videos. Try to do it often. Yeah, Simon, I'm trying to do that. Again, if I think, but again, the viewers are not good. No, the views are not good, guys. Those of you who are in those Bengali groups, spread those videos. Spread those videos in the Bengali groups, so that more people get to know that I'm trying to do stuff in Bengali as well. And then, yeah, let's see. Sports tribunal will become a retirement ground for High Court and Supreme Court. I hope not. I heard that FC Goa, for their further AC2 matches, signing more 2 foreign players, including Spanish player Hakla Martinez. I don't know, let's wait and see. Supposedly, it's the question also if them and Mohun Bagan might also sign some of the Indian players who are not playing at the other clubs. So therefore, yeah, let's see. Yuvraj is explaining we don't hate Kalyan, Yogesh Bhai. We are just amazed at this guy. Yeah. Yes, and the bill with Khalid Jamil Congress also happened. In the meantime, anything else I'm missing? Guys, the bill has been cleared, Khalid Jamil, and of course the MRA, Supreme Court, nothing has happened. I think that's the other one. So you know why he's full-sleeved? I think I have a guess. When I was sir, Banglate video banale bhalo hobe, at least Kolkata Legacy Club fans get some reality check. Raj, thanks. As I said, you guys have, those of you who are the Bengalis watching now live or me watching it afterwards, you need to spread it to the Bengali speaking crowd so that they can know that this exists. You know, and again, I need, as I always say, I need your support. What should FC Goa do to keep themselves in competitive environment if ISL doesn't happen? Abhijit, that's a good question. Not only them, but Mohun Bagan has in the same problem as well. I would have said, you know, for example, in September, the two teams should have played a friendly. I would have said, you know, that's one thing that you can do. To me, maybe even coming to Spain and doing a camp might be something worthwhile in October or November. You know, that's something which I feel could be done. But again, it's a question of cost, right? All of these things are a cost factor. I don't even know if FC Goa per se are happy about this achievement, because for them, this is spending, right? You know, and therefore it's very difficult to say what is right or what is wrong at the moment. Maybe if it's cold, so Sir, my teacher was a Bengali for more than 8 years, and the only Bengali I learned from her was Ami Tomake Aram Manaba. And then she used to turn her words into action. What was lady? I don't know how to write. Tomake Marb. Okay. In Germany, influencers started a football club. When are you, Hiren and Musa, starting a Indian football club? I think never. I think, Roshan, you know what? I am not someone to run to own something. I'm not someone, because I am, you will understand, I'm in certain things, too German in certain things, you know. That's why, for me, it's being an advisor, coming and going out is the easiest thing to do. And, you know, we would have to earn so much via social media to be able to sustain ourselves and the club. So with some 2,800 followers, I guess that will not happen. I would have to have a few million to follow me to be able to do that. But who knows? Maybe, you know. Come on, Dada. We live in a capitalist world. Systems build and collapse. Lives of people are always at stake. Heck, even for me as a software, I'd be kicked out anytime because of AI, right? Rushabh, but I don't think that comparison works for me, because to me, the Supreme Court unknowingly, and 100% unknowingly, are harming Indian football and the livelihoods of people. So therefore, yes, capitalistic system, A is replaced by B replaced by C replaced by, so therefore for me, yeah, but here, you're helping to destroy a system. So this is what it means, right? So National Green Tribunal made for environment protection. Now most of judges don't have expertise on environment affairs. It becomes Shamagraph High Court and Supreme Court Justice. Okay, Dark Knight. So something like this would have meant you will get a Tesla. Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. So together we will open AC Kashi one day. Oh, Let's see if I ever think, again, yeah, tight slab. Khalid's upcoming assignment, Kafa, any hope? Abhijit, let him start. Let him see who's gonna, uh, let me see who he's able to call up, who he calls up, how he starts. I have a lot of questions for Khalid. I would love to sit with Khalid Bhai and say, hey, what are you thinking? Kya soch rahe ho? And that's, at least Arunda represents a great Bengali in him to the world, which we lack here, civil in all aspects nowadays. Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much for the respect that you guys give me, that you return, come back again and again to this channel. I enjoy this. I actually enjoy these conversations. Once in a while, I do get angry with a few people who make some unusual, useless comments. But therefore, I say like, share, spread, especially those of you who are Bengalis. Spread the Bengali version things, and that more people. But I also see with the reactions, commenting. The hype. Yeah, both should play friendlies in different groups, anyways. Yeah, that's it. Make AIFF pride, but it can't. No, you're right. It has to remain a society. Like football, it doesn't. And he means to say chor mal. Acha, yeah, beat the thief, huh? So the basic question: do you expect FC Goa to win? Was it a difficult match? And this win is a big underdog win story. I'm really unaware about all this. We'll watch your previous clips later. Given the situation, Surya, yes, I would say it's an upset. Given the situation in Indian football, given the situation of the ISL, so therefore, to me, it is an upset. If I see the way Alsi played away in Goa in monsoons, an Arabian team, I give him the respect. And it's not an underdog story, but I would have said Alsi would have been my favorite going into the match, if I'm very, very honest. FC Goa pulled it off. And, Ritik Tiwari, who I rate very, very highly. I think he could be a future Indian number one. Great performance. Some others as well. But we saw Boris and Akash Sangwan totally outplayed. So therefore, we saw a lot of things. But overall, yeah, great win for FC Goa. Whether we say Monman may face Irani club, 50% chance FC Goa send over to the Iranian club. Yeah, Blue. That's what I'm saying. So therefore, a trip to Sefahan or Tehran could be on the cards. I hope they don't do any stupidity. Yeah, it's time, especially after what Mohammed Superjan did last season. Yeah. Okay. Also from UP. Thanks, Surya, very, very much. Do you think Khalid Jamil has to shave his beard or his media performance? Roshan, knowing Khalid for 25 years, even having sat on a few press conferences with him, next to him, in front of him, he will not change. Khalid is Khalid. You will have to take him the way he is. And, so therefore, he might really shave his beard completely. I don't think so. Maybe a trim might be more than enough. But Khalid and media interactions never will get better. Sorry, Khalid, for saying that. But that is not your strong point. No, yeah. So we have a locality in Varanasi around 10K Bengalis live used to go play football. There they had a good ground. The oldie Bengalis uncle used to say we have forgot watching football since living in Kashi. Now UP Wallahs made us cricket and hockey fans. That's sad, no? That is sad. Good night, Simon. Catch you through. Do you think Baichung, if get elected, will make a difference? He's definitely making some good noises. He's just another politician and fixing it for his one-man job. Abhijit, Baichung has been, the problem with Baichung, not the problem, Baichung is smart enough. He's understood this time around. And he said it in his press conference now. to me, Khalid is Khalid saying, Baichung said, no, if he doesn't have the backing, he will not stand. Right? If Baichung could get the right people around him, maybe. The problem for me with Baichung is, does Baichung have the political contacts at the top level to be able to influence things the right way? Simple question. And that is where my doubt is, right? So therefore, for me, very, 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 very difficult, right? Yesterday was checking the wage bills of Bundesliga clubs. The gap is so big. Do you think Liverpool will go back to being mid-table team? Rushabh, very difficult to say, because if I see last season's team and if I see this season's team, day and night, very talented bunch. And I'm interested to see if Erik ten Hag can actually make an impact in the Bundesliga. I mean, he was great at Bayern, the coach, but Leverkusen rebuilt, very interesting to see. Some Khalid attitude is what's needed in dressing room. So, yeah, but other things as well. So I don't think it's my place to advise you, but more people need to listen to you. I think if you do some better PR for your channel, this channel will go exponentially. People need to hear smart things. Surya, thank you. Again, I am not, I try and do that, and I will try and think, the PR thing is, yes, one thing that I totally agree. At least I have one channel where the people joining, accepting reality, asking questions to clubs they support, where some blindly following clubs. Yeah, Raj. If that's one channel, that's already a start. Do Bundesliga clubs ever offer their players higher wages, or are they just fine with getting poached away with one good season? Well, they offer them contracts, but if they realize that our wage structure would be destroyed by offering players higher wages, they don't do it. Right? There is a discussion at Borussia Dortmund about Ciro Guirassy. Guirassy had, I think, an insane offer from Saudi. He turned it down. But Borussia Dortmund is not going to increase his salary, even though, he's like a lifeline for them. So what will Khalid do if we fail to qualify for AFC Asian Cup? We will play into Dark Knight. It's not up to him. It is for the AIFF to decide what they will want to do or not do. But at this moment in time, I think the question remains, what will the AIFF do? We'll have to wait and see. To me, very, very clearly, the AIFF will plan once the March window is over. Inter Kashi takes the responsibility of uniting East Bengal and Mohun Bagan fans living in Kashi and make them Inter Kashi fans. Good. Says, hi, Gulzari Lal. What's your opinion on retired players can lead the federation management part? I am skeptical because I'm seeing Khalid Jamil at the moment. I'm seeing, Kalyan Chaube at the moment. So therefore, for me, I'm not that big a part. If they've worked in clubs, if they manage things, we can talk about it. But if you don't have that, to me, it is very, very, that is something that is. Have political connections that important to lead? Is having political connections that important to lead AIFF? Then culture isn't the end of our wars. I mean, how many ex-players do actually can sit with the big boys? Obviously, none of the ex-players. That's what I'm saying. Yes, you need some. Either you are someone with political clout, or you are an industrialist and you're at another level. That's the thing. Yeah. No exit clause for Khalid Jimenez 2-year stint. That is what I have been told, and I've also now read. Dada, you should definitely work on thumbnail and intro. There is this one guy who creates so much clickbait videos. All he does is talk nonsense, probably here in the stream right now. Okay. That guy gets more views than you. It's just insane. Good night, Surya. Yes, I will be back tomorrow with an early live for the draw. Good night, Yuvraj. To smile. You watch something blissful to laugh. You watch some sitcoms, but to laugh hard, to lose both breath and need to listen to the Crash Course idea by Kalyan Chaube. Oops. Met some Bengalis from Delhi supporting Punjab. I think the Mohun East Bengal thing between Bengalis from other states doesn't hold that much. Even in North Bengal, it's not much. I think it is waning, I think, in other parts of Bengal and across India. Yeah, there is a point. Tomorrow, FIFA, yeah, third anniversary. Good night, Rushabh. Yeah, I also end more than 1 hour, 45 minutes. Once more reminder, please like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot spread. I know I have to work on a few things. I will try and do that. And also, I'll be doing a live tomorrow, a watch along of the AFC Champions League 2 draw. And also, do watch the short videos. Visit my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back tomorrow. Good night.